Okay, so how many of you, for your documentaries, have already raised all the money that you need? No one. Okay. How many of you have raised maybe like 10 or 20% of the money that you need? Okay, right. And some of what you've raised might be your own blood, sweat, and tears, right? Instead of paying yourself your correct annual salary, you're not earning very much. So here's the question that this brings us to. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about making this big, beautiful budget that in this case is going to add up to like $500,000. And we'll talk about the appropriate budget levels. The fact is you might only raise $60,000. Or you might raise $20,000. Or you might land somewhere, get a little bit of money from a network and raise, $150,000, right? So how on earth do I make a budget if I don't know how much money I'm going to raise? Why am I doing this? This is an exercise in insanity. I'm wasting 2 days on this spreadsheet, right? So here's my suggestion to you. Certainly you need to research the market and figure out what value does this have. This is a documentary that I think will be funded by the normal PBS kind of funders, right? There are standard numbers for what those people pay, and you can kind of figure out, I think it would make sense. I think there might be $350,000 out there for this documentary. And this is this guy who actually has very detailed reports about what different networks pay for programming. So you have tools to research this. Here's my strategy for you. I suggest that you make 2 budgets. The first, and all of this is in your binder under that heading. How can I make a budget if I don't know how much I'll be able to raise? So the first budget that you make is what I call the full professional budget. That's what we're going to make today. And when you submit your application to ITVS, the independent television service, right, which funds independent filmmakers to make things for PBS, or send it to the Ford Foundation, or to investors, some of whom are speaking in the other room right now, you're going to show them your full professional budget. And you're going to say, this film is going to cost $400,000 to make. And you're going to be out there gung-ho trying to raise that money. But in your desk drawer, with a little key where it's locked, you're going to have the bare bones budget. Okay? And this is going to be your secret budget that you, as a producer, know this is the minimum hard cost it would take if I can't raise the money I want to raise to do this the big, beautiful way. Now, this will involve making some compromises. This will involve calling in lots of favors. Hopefully you've been involved in the community, or you're meeting wonderful people here in this room today, and it's like, oh yeah, I can shoot, but I can't edit. And someone else is like, oh yeah, well I can edit, but I can't shoot. Oh great, we'll collaborate, we'll make a movie, right? So you figure out how to do this. That was kind of a funny joke, right? You can laugh when there are jokes along the way. It helps. It makes me feel good. And the thing about the bare bones budget is this is the bucket of cold water. So if you do your full professional budget and it's like $400,000, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go out there and try and raise it. And if I don't, then whatever, I'll do it for less. And then you do your bare bones budget. And you figure out that if no one earns anything and you do all the work yourself, there's still some travel, there's still some post and lab costs, and you get the number, I'm just making this up, $27,000. Well, you need to make a decision. Can you access $27,000, right? And there are great ways to do it. I mean, some people go on Kickstarter and raise money online, they hold parties, whatever. That's up to you. That's a different workshop. But if you can't, if the bare bones number is a barrier to you, then you really need to think about your strategy. Because if that's the minimum to make the film, and this is the phrase I use, in a way that is acceptable to you, then you need to change your strategy. So really do this exercise, the full professional budget, and then all you do is you take that same template, you make a copy of it, and start deleting things. Okay, if I had to, could I do this myself? It would take longer, right? Fast, cheap, and good. So I want you to be thinking about that, because really every project, and believe me, we had a lot of success with Made in LA, but whatever the next project is, we're going to start out, we're going to have to make a fundraising trailer, we're going to go out there and be pounding the pavement, I'm going to have my dream number and say, oh, Made in LA was so successful, ha ha ha, now we should earn this much, and I'm not going to raise all of that. So this is a strategy that people at all ends of the spectrum can apply.